Today I'm going to talk about my favorite Type 100 max damage build, which has a time to kill of 136 milliseconds. That's right, you heard me, 136 milliseconds, so this thing hits hard. On the screen, you should see the build, and well, let's go over the core components. So when it comes to these max damage build, it's all about getting bullets out there fast and equipping that damage mag. So first things first, for the muzzle, we are definitely going to need the recoil booster, which ups our fire rate, which means a better time to kill. And for the barrel, we are going to choose the rapid barrel. As for the magazine, the 30 Russian short is the preferred one here since it is the damage mag, and each bullet will be doing 40 damage. Now on for the rest of the build. Now this build is highly inaccurate for long range engagements, so I kept this build with that in mind, but I also want to keep this a super awesome gun for close to medium range encounters. Not saying you can't get long shots with this build, I definitely have in my gameplay. It's just something that I don't recommend you doing, and they're just better builds for that for the Type 100. But that being said, if you're gonna play with a submachine gun and keep it in submachine gun range, then this thing is amazing. For the optic, I've opted for the Sakura short irons. I do like the iron sight on this. It gives us a little bit of a boost on the ADS, not much, but every little bit helps, so that's why I put it there. If not, I could see a slate reflector, whatever you want here. And now we're gonna get to the stock, and this is what I really cement as the playstyle for this. Since we're gonna keep this from short to medium range, I'm going to use the folding stock on this one, and here's why. We're gonna get +4 on aim walk movement speed, we're gonna get +4 on aim walking steadiness, and +1 on initial accuracy and recoil. So the initial accuracy and recoil is really gonna help us for those medium range encounters, and if you wanted to, not suggesting you do, it'll stretch it out for those long range encounters as well. And I really like aiming down sights and strafing with the submachine gun. When I think of a submachine gun, I think of speed, and if you can outmove your opponents while you're firing, you're gonna have a better time during battle. There are massive downsides to this stock, of course, are -3 sprint to fire speed, which sucks. Hip fire accuracy, I don't really care too much because this build I'm going to want to be aiming down the sight most of the time. And why I choose this stock, even though we do get a -3 to sprint to fire speed, is because the Type 100 is a gun that has the gung-ho proficiency, which means that negative doesn't exist at all. So it's really just a massive win-win for us, which then you guys are assuming you're correct. The proficiency has to be gung-ho for this specific build to work. While I'm here, I'm just gonna say kit fully loaded. Fairly obvious, probably the best kit. And for the rear grip here, this is something I could see you changing, but I've decided for the grooved grip because it gives us +2 aim walk movement speed and +2 accuracy. So the accuracy is going to help the horizontal recoil, which will help for our medium range encounters, but the aim walk movement speed is almost going to put us to our base run speed, which is amazing. So you could preemptively aim down your sight and then clear a room while you're walking toward it, and you'll be going pretty fast, and that'll catch a lot of enemies off by surprise. The downside for this is the sprint to fire speed and the aim down speed, but the sprint to fire speed is not a downside because we're gonna have gung-ho. The ADS is a huge one here. We are going to have not a fast ADS, it's still really fast. At the end of this build, it's going to be 272 milliseconds. Not the best, but not the worst. And like I said, most of the time you're going to be aiming down your sight while you're entering a building, or perhaps jumping and aiming down your sight, and you're going to keep a lot of your speed. So it's really not a downside here. For the ammo type, I like lengthen here. It'll really help those medium range encounters, but if you want to keep this super deadly, I can see incendiary and FMJ rounds as a good option here. For the underbarrel, we're going to leverage the fact that we have gung-ho, and we're going to use the strife angled here. It's going to give us +2 on accuracy, which really helps our horizontal recoil. It's going to give us a +1 on aiming stability, which helps our medium range encounters, and +1 on aim walking steadiness, which is already going to help us with the whole core concept of this build, is that if we're not rushing and hip firing and then immediately aiming down, we're going to be entering a room while aiming down our sight and then strafing, which is a huge strength of this gun. The negative is a sprint to fire speed, but for us, it's not a negative because of gung-ho. And that right there is my close quarter combat, just monster build for the Type 100 with a great time to kill. Like I said, this gun is really good from short range. You're gonna dominate every fight essentially, in short range encounters. Medium, if you're good at controlling your recoil, you're gonna do really well too. For long range encounters, I would say shorten the map for yourself. Take routes that you know have really short sight lines. If you have to go down a sight line that's a very long range sight line, run cover to cover. Play this gun like you're actually playing with a submachine gun. I know a lot of these builds can be laser builds, and the Type 100 does have a really good long range build that I prefer over some assault rifles, but this one is just pure damage at close range. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Kelvin's out.